Bye, Lennox. Daddy's gonna miss you. Oh, you're sleeping very well. Today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a long time. I've been burning to talk about it because it might potentially save you from wasting tons of time, energy, and money. And that is why you shouldn't start a photography filmmaking channel in 2022. That's right, you heard me. Why you shouldn't start a photography filmmaking channel. Let's talk about it. But first, can you believe it that our son Lennox is already 4 weeks old? If you guys haven't heard, recently my wife and I had our first son. Everything went so well. Our son Lennox is super healthy. My wife was a champ, but it explains why I've been a little bit silent on the channel. I decided to take 4 weeks summer holiday, which was a first in history for me. And my thinking behind it was that I thought that, 10 years from now, I'm not gonna have moments where I'm like, I regret that I didn't make those extra videos during that summer when my son was born. But if I didn't take a break, I really think that I would have regretted not being present for those first moments. All those diaper changes and crying baby moments, but also those really cute, cuddly moments that all parents know that it just makes it all worth it in the end. So that's why I've been gone for the last 4 weeks, but we're now back in full force. Oh man, long distance one-wheeling is way more tiring than it looks. I need to sit down somewhere. So why shouldn't you start a photography filmmaking channel in 2022? Something I've noticed in the past little while is that there's a lot of new people who have gotten into photography or filmmaking by watching different photographer and filmmaking channels, which is great because today learning about photography and filmmaking is more accessible than ever before. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to go study in a college or university about photography or filmmaking because there are so many amazing photography and filmmaking channels out there. Now what I've noticed is that with all these new passionate photographers and filmmakers, they often want to emulate their favorite creators and they want to start a YouTube channel of their own. Now because I love you guys, I want to save you guys a whole lot of time, money, and stress, I thought I would share with you guys why I don't think you should start a photography or filmmaking channel. So reason number one why you shouldn't start a photography filmmaking YouTube channel is that it's one of the most saturated niches. If you think of the world population and you think of how many people are actually interested in photography or filmmaking, it's a pretty small niche compared to topics like exercise or money that really interest and impact everybody. Then you take the small niche of people interested in photography and filmmaking and compare it to how many channels there are, and it's crazy. There are a lot of photography and filmmaking channels in comparison to how many people there are to watch, which creates a lot of competition for people starting out a photography filmmaking channel because you're really competing for the eyes, the watch time, the views, and it's not easy. Whereas if you look at other niches, like I said before, finances, exercise, there are so many people interested in those topics, but there's not that many channels available for those people, meaning there is a lot of opportunity there for a lot of views and eyes on your content. Now, I totally understand why people who are passionate about photography or filmmaking want to start a channel, but I think people need to think outside the box and use those skills that you've learned from photography and filmmaking and document and share about other passions that you might have. For example, if you love hunting, use your photography and filmmaking skills to show off hunting, make tutorials about hunting, show your journey through a hunting YouTube channel, and most likely there's gonna be a lot more opportunity for your hunting channel to grow in comparison to a photography and filmmaking channel, because there's probably not that many channels out there about hunting, but there is a whole lot of people in the world who are interested in hunting. You get my drift? There's a nice ratio of viewers versus channels available if you're doing a hunting channel, for example. So I guess my point is, just because you got passionate about photography filmmaking doesn't mean you need to start a photography and filmmaking channel. Just use those skills to tell stories and document your other passions that you might have and start a channel about them. And reason number 2, and I don't mean this in a harsh way, but you might not actually be that good at photography and filmmaking. And I don't say this in an insulting or arrogant way, because in no way am I the best photographer and filmmaker, but I think there's a lot of you guys out there who maybe you are passionate about photography and filmmaking, but you're not the best, but you're actually a lot better at a lot of other things. And that's why I think it's much better to take those photography, filmmaking skills and use that to tell a story about your other passions that you're actually much more better at. Do you get what I mean? So I'll say it again, instead of starting a photography, filmmaking channel, use the skills that you've learned and become a storyteller of what you're actually best at. The new slogan should be Red Bull gives dads wings. Let's just say that we've been running on very little sleep and a little bit of caffeine gets the day going strong. Reason number 3 for not starting a photography and filmmaking channel, and this kind of continues on reason number 2, is that there's most likely something that you're more passionate about than photography and filmmaking. You know, maybe you've picked up a camera, you've gotten interested in photography or filmmaking, but there's actually a lot of other areas of your life that you're much better at and you're much more passionate about. And when it comes to starting and running a YouTube channel consistently, you gotta be really dang passionate, because week in, week out, you're putting blood, sweat, tears into making content. And if you're not passionate about it, you're not gonna be able to last long. So when you decide what your YouTube channel is gonna be about, what the niche is, you gotta make sure that you are absolutely passionate about that thing, that you just can't stop talking and thinking about it, because otherwise you're gonna run out of ideas and you're not gonna have the content to make 2 to 3 videos consistently a week for years to come if you wanna grow your channel. So if you notice that photography and filmmaking is one of your passions, but not necessarily your own passion, I would recommend sitting down and reflecting and asking yourself, what am I actually most passionate about? And that should be the subject or niche that you should start your YouTube channel about. Because what you are most passionate about is gonna shine through the content that you make. I absolutely love watching any channel where the person is just passionate. It could be something totally different that I'm passionate about, but just seeing someone passionate about what they're doing is just so contagious, and I love watching those kinds of channels. So to wrap all of this up, don't start a photography or filmmaking channel just because you think that's the only route to become a YouTuber. Instead, take those photography and filmmaking skills to become a storyteller, documenting about what you're actually most passionate and best at, and do a YouTube channel around that. Doing this, you're gonna have a much higher chance of having a successful, growing YouTube channel. And in the end, you're gonna have a much enjoyable process because you're actually creating content about what you're most passionate and good at. And for those who are completely furious right now at what I'm saying, you're about to write some hate messages down in the comment section below, maybe, just maybe, you are the few people that should actually start a photography filmmaking channel, because if what I'm saying is making you furious and angry, maybe you just are actually that passionate and willing to put in the work to become really good at photography filmmaking and to offer something to this whole community. So you have my blessing, go and start a photography filmmaking channel. But if you are the person where you're in the situation where, of course, you like photography and filmmaking, but it's not your #1 passion and you're not the best at it, but there's something else in your life that you're very passionate and good at, I would highly recommend for you to start a YouTube channel around that. And I'm so excited to see the success that you will experience. All right, that's all I had to say. I just wanted to get this off my chest because I sincerely want to help you guys go forwards in your creative journey. Man, feels so good after a nice 4-week-long break to be back here creating content again. But the strange thing is, I'm already missing my son Lennox back at home. Any other parents feeling that feeling sometimes? Comment below. Love to hear.
Hey, buddy. Daddy here. Hey, you're so cute. Hey, Daddy missed you today.